My name is Alexa, and I'm the program director for Monday Night Marsh. These are definitely the times to be sharing our stories, and I'm so grateful that Monday Night Marsh is still here. I'm so grateful that we have the resources to continue bringing these stories to you guys. So yeah, I also want to say happy June. It is the start of a new month. I think it's the start of the second half of the year. Maybe not. Maybe it's still the first. Didn't think that one through. So I'm really excited to get the episode started. We've got three lovely and very talented performers who are ready to get going. But before we do, I'd like to mention something. One of our performers who will be performing third, so Sailor, has asked that everyone have a pen and paper ready when it comes time for her to perform. So if you want to start rummaging through all the drawers now to find one, that would be a good time. Now is also a good time to remind everyone that we do accept submissions still. The link is on our website, themarsh.org, under Monday Night MarshStream. If you've got a story to tell, we usually feature 10-minute stories. Send one over to us. So yeah, so very excited to sift through those. So like I said earlier, very happy to have the resources to continue this program. I want to give a big thank you to Stephanie, our director, and of course, David Harada for running this Zoom tech. I know it can get a little tricky. And I also want to say thanks to Brianna and Brian for also being here and making sure everything runs smoothly tech-wise. So big thank you to you guys. All right, so let's get started. Tonight, as I said, we have three lovely performers who are ready to give you excerpts from larger shows that they're working on. We're going to have Amy Ostreicher first, and then Jill and Radhika, and then we'll end the night with Sailor Holiday. So up first, we have Amy Ostreicher with Under the Singing Tree, Untold Stories of Resilience. Where can we find hope, creativity, and the fuel to move forward when the world feels at a standstill? Amy uses her original songs, stories, mixed media artwork, and humor as an unexpected passageway through profound crisis and back home. Amy shares the creativity that unexpectedly stemmed from the detours of autobiographical trauma and has led her back into the light. Here's Amy.
Coming out of the hospital, I couldn't eat or drink. Food was fatal, doctors told me, indefinitely. Without a digestive system, my mouth was a forbidden temple. So I spent hours doodling pictures of scallops, tandoori chicken, and turkey sandwiches. I even made clay sculptures of pizza, ice cream, and tacos. And every Tuesday, I'd go to Stop and Shop with my mother to pace through the aisles, salivating but never tasting, not letting those boxes of Lay's, Ruffles, cheddar potato chips, or bags of Fruit Loops tempt me. I saw mothers shopping with their daughters planning for dinner. In aisle 5, there was a little boy biting into a crunchy red apple as he joyrode in his father's cart. Sprinting up and down the aisles, I searched for Mom. Mom, what if we can't find anyone who can figure out how to fix me? What if I'm forever like this? What if I'm never able to eat or drink again? I was actually crying. It had been over 3 years without a sip. Mom grabbed me by the shoulders and shook me so hard it hurt. Yes, of course you will eat. We'll find a surgeon who knows what to do. You don't know that. Yes, I do. One day this will all be a blip in time. This is a blip in time. This cannot last forever. This is a moment, a friend of mine. Let it go swiftly surrender. Mom, what the hell's a blip? It means this will pass. Says who? Before you know it, the moment's past. Only a story you'll tell. The thing about now is it doesn't last, yet the lessons will do you well. I felt like the little girl who got her lollipop taken away when her head was turned? Would she ever get back that sweet sugary high that made her tongue tingle? Sit under this tree with me. Sit and hold my hand. Breathe in what the air is whistling around me in the land. What have they done to you? And how on earth did you get this form? And what the hell is that thing bulging out of you where your belly button should be? Only aliens don't have belly buttons. Aliens and Alfred Hitchcock. These are the ways we heal when life strikes us from above. The only sensations that are real are those who we live for and love. I was watching a Taco Bell commercial on the Food Network, miserable and holding back tears. Hold still just a bit more, and you will catch the rays of sun on your skin. The sadness will pass, the pain floats away. The light is meant to breathe in. Mom tenderly held my shoulder and said, Amy, you deserve to be happy. Float upon these waves with me. Drift back to the shore. Sometimes what we think we need is not what we're truly longing for. Is it okay, God, to be happy? To have this life and be happy? This all will pass, though it may seem like a big storm cloud. All that really matters is that I know I'm here right now. One surgeon told my parents, I don't think she's really bought into this life yet. He was right. This is a blip, I'll bet. Soon to be memory. This is a time that I won't forget. It will remain with me. Please, God, bless me with a miracle. Knock me over with a mind-blowing epiphany like the apple falling on Newton's head. Or just give me the apple. I am the future. I am myself. I am what I believe. I have the power to start again. New strands to thread and weave. How am I supposed to buy into life when I can't even buy anything at Stop and Shop? This all will pass. If I stand strong, and all will be is my song. My body's broken like stained glass tiles that don't fit. But there's something about the cracks in the pavement, the ancient statues, in the Liberty Bell. What is broken can be beautiful. But what do I do with the broken pieces? How do I put them back together? I do wonder what God's plan is for me, that life is strategically lined up, disillusionment after disillusionment, shattering my world over and over like the world wants me to excavate my soul from the rubble. Maybe if I keep walking, I'll find something extraordinary. I walk through a field of green grass. I'm feeling the earth between my toes. The warmth of the sun melts the icicles in my soul. Without all the fireworks, the crisis confetti, my My fingers are trembling, my palms are all sweaty. This isn't what I've known, but I am finding home. I am here, I feel life, though my insides are shaky and all unglued. I am so overwhelmed with the peculiar mix of grief and gratitude for knowing how I persevered for ages in the dark. But now it's time to move along and reignite a spark. From the broken pieces of myself, I'll make a new me. I'll seal my scars with crystal tears. I want to heal every little part of me. I want to heal my heart, and then I want to heal the world and wear high heels. I feel flame all around and no fire escape to keep me from my heart. And that same sound of those leaves in the wind and my voice in the air and this art. You took to life like a bad habit. It fooled you once and it'll fool you again, but that's just life. Dust yourself off and start all over again. Hear me now as I am, with a leak or a tear, crack I don't even am. Fear not, I'll protect you, the tree says. Dance beneath the clouds with me and let your voice swirl around my branches, and your body and soul will sail through every passageway. You are my spirit in this wondrous land. My arms flow toward you like a sacred hand. Hit me with your best shot, girl, I'm ready. Come breathe it in. Can you feel it on your skin? Nature is fluffed with the breeze. Clouds swirl like swans, making ripples with their wands, singing songs with the trees. As Emerson said, let your spirit make your bed. Every spirit builds a house, and beyond its house a world, and beyond its world a heaven on earth. So then, it's true that the world exists for you. So breathe, come breathe. Breathe it. You. And breathe it in, everyone.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. I absolutely love that. Wow, there's a lot, so much emotion in that. And I know that there are, I'm sorry?
A lot going on, but thank you.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And I could tell everybody in the audience too, they just loved it. And I know that there are a lot of folks out there who perform in musicals, who have their own or other, or in other people's musicals, that feel restricted by Zoom and, might believe that they can't perform their musicals, but you have shown us it is absolutely possible. So anybody out there with a musical, that was great.
Theater is about, sharing our experience and hoping it resonates on a universal level. So I hope that, any kind of uncertainty we may be feeling right now, there's a way to connect however we find it. So, and I can eat and drink now. So I'm all good. Surgeons fixed me.
Great.
We're happy ending. But good night, everyone. I'm on the East Coast, so I'm going to sign out. But thank you all. And good luck, everyone.
Bye, Amy.
Thank you.
Well, that was awesome. So for the next performance, I'd like to invite David, who you met earlier, one of our Marsh Zoom techs, to the virtual stand so he can say a few important Zoom instructions for the next performance.
Yeah, thanks, Alexa. So these are different times. This is new technology, and we have historically at the Marsh been about solo performance, but we're actually, our next piece, we have a duo here. So, which means we have to do a little something to make it work here in Zoom. So the first thing is most people, I think, have their cameras off. If you do not, I'm gonna go through and start making sure that everyone's camera is off except for our performers. Nothing personal, you can start it up later if you want, but just so that you can see our performers to their best advantage is why we're doing this. So let me just, and I just lost my own, sorry, video. I'm gonna have, okay. So then what we're going to do is in your settings, if you're on a mobile device, if you tap your screen, there will be a menu and there will be 3 dots. And if you tap on that and you select meeting settings, and then there's some choices, and you want to make sure that show non-video participants is off. Okay, so that's please set that. If you're on a desktop device, then you need to go down to your menu. Next to the camera icon where it says start video, there's an up arrow. You click on that, go to video settings, and from there you can select hide non-video participants. Check that box, which I have just done. And so sorry for the public service announcement. I am now going to turn this back to Alexa, who will introduce our next performers.
Whew, thank you for that, David, and for making it work. So our next performance, Jill is looking for a friend. Want to play with Jill? In the San Francisco tech mecca of disconnected connection, how do we cultivate and sustain authentic adult friendships? Through improvisation, clown, and self-revelatory theater, Jill will lead you through a courageous and disarming exploration of friendship. And now the Friendship Show presents 10 Minutes of Friends with your friends, Jill Eickmann and Radhika Rao.
Yay. Woo! I'm so excited. This is amazing. Thank you, Marsh, for breaking your rules and allowing a duo to perform tonight. So my name is Jill Eickmann, and welcome to 10 Minutes of the Friendship Show, which I like to call as a solo-ish performance, because in order to explore friendship, we need to explore it with our friends, not just by ourselves. So usually before quarantine and shelter in place, I did this in a live theater venue with an interactive audience style. And now that I've been performing this online, I've been doing 10 minutes of friend, or actually 15 minutes of friend I've been doing online with friends from all over the globe who are also improvisers and performers. And tonight I have a very special friend performing with me tonight, Radhika Rao. I absolutely adore this human being as a friend and as an improvisational artist, a teacher, just a leader in every sense of the word. And I feel like I chose her for this show tonight because I feel like she's somebody who really gives a lot of herself to her friends. And I felt I had this kind of feeling that we probably connected on this level of like, it's hard for us to say no to our friends. And sometimes we need to say no compassionately. And how do we do that? Like, how do we do that, right? So Radhika, I would love to start the conversation with you. Like, is that true what I said? Like, this person who's compassionate has a hard time to say no? Like,
yeah, it's been pretty crazy because I generally have a hard time saying no to people, and I believe like that's something that should always show up for my friends. It's becoming, I have to say, it's becoming challenging during this time because there's just like no boundaries anymore, and there's no, people can reach people anytime. You can reach people in any part of the world, and there's no work. Like I don't have like regular work, so
Yeah.
people know they can reach me. My boundaries are super weak. So yeah, it's been interesting.
And it's a time where a lot of us are just feeling in crisis, right?
That too.
And we
Mhm.
absolutely need our friends, right? We absolutely,
Yeah.
especially folks that are sheltering in place. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a parent. I have a 3-year-old, and my husband and I are going a little crazy, like
Yeah.
trying to juggle our family business and our 3-year-old and everything. We have no break, none whatsoever. So it's just finding those pockets of time to connect with our friends, I know, are super important to me.
Oh my
But
gosh, I'm gonna say something really horrible, Jill.
say it.
Just like I don't have kids,
Yeah.
and like when I turned 40, I'm 43 now, and so I feel like I've reached the hump where all of my friends' kids are like older, so I earned it. It's so amazing. I can actually have a conversation with them without their kids, coming in, and it's usually like a sentence, and then there's a half sentence to the kid, and then they come back, and where were we?
Yeah.
Now, thanks to shelter in place, I'm back in that same situation because I'm talking to a friend, and the kids are right there, and then it's oh my gosh, I feel
Trust
like
me,
a
we don't
horrible
want it
person.
either.
What?
The parents don't want that either. Trust me. We want like adult time. Yeah, to connect with our friends.
But yeah, that's, I mean, talk about playing a scene, right? Like, yeah, like you need to talk, and your friend just has other things going on, because it's so stressful for parents right now, but I need their time too.
Yeah. So I know the question that we posed, like, so all my friendship shows that I've been doing is like something around like, how can we be better friends for each other? And something that keeps coming up is like not only being better friends for each other, right? But like noticing how to say no in a very compassionate way, right? Because just saying yes, like, is a great choice, right? For a lot of friendship. But how do you say no in a really positive way? I did a show last week with Chelsea McAlexander, and we talked about consent and cancel culture. And we did an improv scene where she ungodmothered me because I didn't say thank you. We're in this kind of culture where it's like unfriend, 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 block, block, block. How can we say no, or later, or I can't right now, in a way that's still compassionate, right? Yeah. So what's coming up for you, like, around that topic? Do you have anything going on for you around that topic?
Well, yes and no. I feel like I think we're in a really difficult moment in time right now. So I definitely am feeling like I want to show up for my friends, and then I also, like, I've been calling a lot of people because I want to make sure they're okay.
Right.
And then when they're not responding, I'm worrying for them, and so yeah, it's interesting. Some of my friends are frontline workers, some of them are first responders, some of them are protesting, and so yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to randomly call my friends today. Honestly, that's what I spend my whole day doing, is just calling people. And
yeah, I've been there too, checking in on people, calling people.
Yeah, and I haven't had a second to check in on myself actually today. Usually I have a chanting practice and I have time, but it was very distracted today. So yeah.
Well, you know how I think, Radhika. I'm always like, okay, what can we do improvisationally now that we've talked a little bit?
Yeah.
What kind of scene could we set the stage with? So the first thing that I'm thinking of, like, what if, Radhika, do you want to check in with yourself? I can be yourself.
Yeah.
I could do that. We could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to check in.
Yeah,
you want to do that?
Okay. I'll be yourself.
With everybody else. Yeah.
And so what kind of state are you in right now?
My eyeballs hurt.
Okay.
Because I've just been like staring into screens all day, because now we don't even voice call people because we have the option to see them. So now I want to see people, but as a result, my eyeballs. So I think I've forgotten my gut and my heart because I'm just like this.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll start there.
Okay, okay. So you're myself?
Yeah, I'm yourself.
Oh,
I'm
you look really freaked out. Whoa, 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 whoa. You keep it together, Radhika. Keep it together.
I'm just, I don't know. I'm not functioning.
I thought I was doing better than that. You just, it's no disrespect, but you look like shit.
Oh. No, it doesn't feel disrespectful. It actually feels like you see me. Like finally, Radhika. Because I've kind of been showing signs to you that I'm not okay. And finally, Radhika, you're noticing. Finally.
Yeah, I was, man, this is terrible. The last 2 days I haven't stretched out. I haven't
Yeah,
done my yoga practice. The
I know
world,
you're not letting me breathe.
no, nobody, the world's been burning. I mean, I don't think anybody else is breathing. I don't know that I can give myself permission to breathe right now.
Radhika, if you don't let me breathe, that's it. That's it. I'm done. We're done.
No, 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 no. If I lose you, I don't have anybody. Can you just, okay, just take a breath. For heaven's sakes, you look terrible. You look really shitty. I can't let my friends see you because then they're not going to tell me how they're feeling.
Okay.
You just take a breath into your nose and
I'm breathing, Radhika, but what you just said is not okay. That you're not going to let your friends see us. Like really see us.
I don't think they have the capacity right now. They're going through a lot. I think I'm the strongest in the room.
Radhika, look at me.
Okay.
Are you the strongest in the room? Like really? Are you?
I seem like I'm stronger than you. I don't know what's going on with you. You look so vulnerable and weak, and I don't need that right now.
Radhika?
Why?
It's gonna push me to the side again? Look at my eyes! Look at them! My eyeballs are gonna pop out of my head! You have to do something with me!
Oh my gosh. I do.
You have to show me to your friends, because then maybe your friends will care about me a little bit more than you do!
My friends have been asking me how you're doing, and I've been just saying never mind. It's okay. I'm fine. I've been doing fine. I mean, I lost my job, but I got unemployment. I'm single, but I have a housemate. I haven't been out there. I haven't been out for a few days, but I'm trying to stretch at home. I'm fine.
I'm not fine, Radhika.
It's really hard to look at you right now.
Thank you for looking at me, even though it's hard.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I'm kind of a mess, you
look wiped out.
I appreciate you finally looking at me. Because you can't really be there for other people, really, if you don't look at me.
Yeah, it's that airline oxygen mask rule, right?
Yeah. And you're doing so much for other people. Okay? So just give me a little. Just a little.
I will. Because I was just feeling like everybody else has parents to take care of and students or children, or I don't have anybody to take care of. But now I didn't realize that was you.
You're such a good friend.
I'm trying. Yeah. You know what?
You're trying.
You should give yourself a shoulder rub. I'm gonna massage your shoulders. Isn't that amazing? Does that feel good? Does that feel good? Yes. Yes. Oh, that feels great. Oh, turn around. You know what feels really good? Just do it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Oh.
Look at you.
Oh, you're amazing.
Oh, I'm gonna try to get Amy Ostreicher and play some of her songs. She lifts me up. She is amazing. I know we like her.
Yeah, I love her. Thanks for noticing that I like her, because that takes effort too, to notice what you like and need. So thank you.
Yeah. No, for sure. And you know what? I know it's not healthy, but I'm gonna get us some ice cream. I'm just gonna get us some ice cream because it makes us happy.
I
right?
love ice cream, and you know my favorite flavor, right?
I do. Brownie chocolate chip. Oh my gosh, I've been not eating it because I'm so afraid that I'm gonna gain weight and just not be healthy during this shelter in place. But you know, you like it, and I want to do right by you.
Oh.
So I'm gonna call my friends too. I really want to call my friend Sonu, and I don't want to discourage her because she has so much on her mind. What do you think I should do? Should I call my friend?
Just tell her you need some time. Some
Okay.
time with yourself right now, okay? And you'll get back to her when you can. Because you want to show up fully for her, right?
I
And
do.
You can't show up fully for her with this.
Oh my gosh, it hurts so bad.
Okay?
So bad. You look so much better. You look so much better.
Ice cream! Let's go get our ice cream!
Ice cream!
And that's our show. Thank you so much. That was so fun.
Thank you. There's a white woman inside of me, folks. I never feel like man. Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing that. That was definitely a deep performance, and I definitely love the message of self-love and happiness. So I think it's an important reminder for all of us that we need to do things that make us happy. Yeah. So thank you for that. I want to ask, what was the inspiration for the friendship show?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it really started when I became a mom. I was feeling particularly lonely. And then also just living in San Francisco, I feel like we're, we are really now, but we are like glued to our screens, and just walking around my neighborhood and not being able to get eye contact from anybody or a hello back. And then taking my little daughter to playground and not even being able to connect with other parents, and just feeling lonely. And I was like, well, I got it. I'm not the only one, I'm sure. So I started this show to just think about how can we help each other be better friends, and just continue to ask that question, and help each other think about that. Yeah. How can we be better friends for each other? Because loneliness, especially now, it's for real. It's for real. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this is great stuff that you guys are doing. One more thing I wanted to ask. Oh, are either one of you working on shows or other workshops? And if so, how can folks sign up or get in contact with you guys?
Yeah, Radhika, do you want to share anything?
Well, I on and off perform with Leela's, Jill's company, Leela, and they're amazing. I have an improv duo named Lost in Translation, and we're two immigrants talk about our experience of just navigating America. And so if you go to our Facebook page, Lost in Translation Duo, you'll be able to learn more information. And then in July, I'll be in a show by Queer Cat Productions called Camp. And yes, so there'll be more information on Queer Cat Productions Facebook page. So please go there. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
well,
and
thank you guys. Yeah, go ahead, Jill.
For me, like Leela, like Radhika said, is our improvisational theater company. Radhika is one of our teaching artists and performers there. And we have drop-in classes that I usually teach. They're on Monday and Thursday night. Of course, I'm not teaching tonight because I'm here. But I teach them on Monday and Thursday night from 7 to 8:30. It's pay what you can. Any level of improviser, brand news come as well from all over the world. So it's a lot of fun. And then we're also teaching levels classes as well, 6-week-long levels classes. And then we have shows on Friday and Saturday nights. We stream via the YouTube channel Leela SF from 8 to 9:30 on Friday and Saturdays. And I often perform and host in those shows. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really great stuff. If you guys have a link too, you could put it in the chat for everybody.
Okay, great. Thank you, Alexa.
Yeah, thank
Thank you so much.
All right, so I hope everyone has a pen and paper. Did we scavenge all our drawers for that? Because I'd like to welcome Sailor Holiday to the stage with a piece called The People's Collective Debt Absolution Spell. Are you drowning in debt? Do you feel bad for all those who are? Come participate in the People's Collective Debt Absolution Spell. Sailor will cast a spell to help you physically absolve yourself and others from debt. Bring a pen and paper if you can. Feel free to bring receipts, past, due, and unopened bills, your graduate degree transcripts, your home mortgages, your payday lender receipts, your ideas about how to get free. Now here's Sailor.
Good evening. So first I want to thank the presenters, the performers that came before me, as well as the Marsh, and also say that I am transmitting myself here on Kalapuya land in Oregon, and I have a lot of gratitude for the people that are the ancestors of this land. So I want to encourage people to use the chat. That is a big piece of technology that we have. It seems really small, but it's actually a big access point that we have here. And I also want to encourage you to verbalize, I can't see you, but you can make verbalizations, you can echo, you can throw words into the chat, but you can also holler at your roommates, you can holler at people around you, the animals around you, and I will hear you. Hey, I see some people chatting me up, so thank you. So I want to know if there's any poor and working class people in here. I know that you have Wi-Fi, but the funny thing about our society is you could still be poor and have Wi-Fi. And is anybody robbing Peter to pay Paul like I am? That's a reality. So one of my main focuses in life is embracing the invisible labor that I and others do, which immediately visibilizes it. When we can see that we are working, we can make choices about our work. FYI, in order to see the work of others, we first have to see ourselves and others as human and as beings who deserve dignity with our work. If there's no dignity with our work, it's called something else. So I ask you to consider, when is your time your own? I ask you to consider, who owns the clock that you orbit around? If you haven't grabbed a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, please do that now. What we're going to do now is we are going to create some space between the financial debts that we've been told we owe and ourselves. There are lots of things that get in the way from connection, which is what the other performers were really talking about with the other two pieces, is connection with others and connection with self. connection with our goals, connection with our dreams. Debt, financial debt, I would say is the main way that happens in our society. Debt is anti-value. Debt takes a hold of future labor. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a few things to keep to make the space between ourselves and our debt bigger than it was before we came together here today. So what I want you to do with that scrap of paper, if you don't have any paper, you could use some note on your phone, but a piece of paper would be better because you're going to be doing something with the paper in a minute. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take this moment to write down all of the debts that you owe, all of the money that you owe, that you've been told that you owe to people, money you owe to banks, money you owe to hospitals. So you can start doing that. I'm going to keep saying debts that you might have, you may or may not have. We often talk about good debt or bad debt. I don't think that's necessary to have as a distinction, but you might think about what that means to you if you notice yourself using those words. So write down the credit card debt that you have from the things that you decided to purchase with your credit card that now has interest accruing. And you can also notice what things some people are testifying in the chat. So you can also notice some of the things that people are testifying. So I appreciate, Cassia, your testimony there. This is going to be recorded. So I just want to, like on YouTube, and the chat won't be there. So I want to just say that somebody just put in the chat that they have over $100,000 in student debt that I will never be able to pay off. Thank you for your testimony. So if you're somebody that's listening and you have absolutely no debt in your name, you have no debt, while this spell is happening, I would like you to meditate on forgiveness to and from the people who owe a deed of debt to you. Maybe you don't have any debt that you owe, but if you have somebody that owes you debt, you actually still do have debt. And so your work would be to try to place some forgiveness between that person and you, some absolvement, some absolution. If you've totally managed to stay out of this mess so far, this mess of owing and being owed, which can be the case for different religions, which can be the case for people who are young, hopefully that nobody took debt out in their name. You can meditate on protecting yourself from this trouble and on who in your life could use your support around this. So I want you to keep writing. I want you to write, so a mortgage would be considered a good debt in our culture. We're told what's a good debt and what's a bad debt, and then we internalize that. So we're told a mortgage is a good debt. So if you have a mortgage and you still owe money to the bank for your house and you haven't had a chance to write that down, put that down. That's still debt. Got mortgage, student loans, medical debt, payday lenders, car loans, credit cards. You owe your mom $100. These are survival debts. These are pleasure debts. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to add up all the debt that you have listed there. Add up all the debt. Keep adding up the debt. Based off of the things that have been going on, certainly for 400 years, but this last week has been an elevation of discord I've added 2 lines to this spell that I didn't have prior. So the first line is, we no longer want to keep up with the Joneses. We will not die, as Kianga Yamada Taylor says, a death of despair. We will not die a death of despair. The death of despair is rising in our country. It's unprecedented for a developed nation. This debt piece is a huge piece of it. We will not die a death of despair. So here's what I want you to do, and this is important. This is where you come in. In order for this to work, you gotta go through the whole ritual. So I want you to take the piece of paper that you have, and I want you to crumple it into a ball. If you have more than one, that's totally fine. And I want you to think of something you want to say to the person or the institution that owns the deed to your debt. Now, you could also, because we do have this technology with the chat, you could also make a decision to say this in a minute into the chat. That's up to you. I'll let you decide on that. But what I want you to do is I want you to pretend that I'm the person who owns your debt. Okay? So you've got your crumpled up ball with your debt. You've got your plan of what you're going to say to the person who owns your debt, which is me. If you're somebody who people owe you money, do this in the reverse. So make me the person who owes you the money and you've got something to say to them. Okay? So the last piece of this spell is what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to take the ball and I want you to throw it at the computer and say what you want to say. You're throwing it at me, okay? So I am ready for this. This is our candle that will take all of this energy. Don't worry, it's not coming to me. I'm just here to help transmute the energy so that you can release some of this off of you, okay? So I want you to take that ball and I want you to throw it at me and say what you need to say. You can say stuff into the chat if you need to. So let's do this. What do you need to tell the person who owns your debt? Go forward. All right, so I'm here to tell you that whatever relationship you have to this debt cycle is not your fault. This is going to be recorded and put onto YouTube, so you can actually access this video at any time if you need a reminder that something got confused along the way when you were trying to figure out how to survive, and it's not your fault, and you deserve to have a life that is free from debt. You deserve to have your labor be creating value for yourself and your loved ones in the present moment. Thank you very much.
Oops, am I unmuted? Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Sailor. I first want to say thank you for really trying to make a connection with the audience, for encouraging them to use a chat box. I think that's such a brilliant tool that we have, and I feel like not a lot of people take advantage of the chat. So thank you so much for that. And I feel like this was very relatable. A lot of people have emotional debt, financial debt, and it's sort of a stigma. There's a stigma around, talking about that, and connecting with other people, and we don't really realize that a lot of people are on the same boat. So I want to thank you for that. What was the inspiration behind this piece?
Well, are you able to hear me okay?
Yeah.
So I grew up in poverty, and my family actually never really accessed typical lines of credit. We used pawn shops mostly. My brother's actually here. He's watching this from Peru. So I just want to say that I'm really glad we survived. I'm really proud that my brother is here tonight. But yeah, pawn shops were our main form of debt originally when we were kids. There were lots of other things, but I mean, I played flute, and my flute was pawned so we could eat. So, that's the reality of that. I'm also really interested in the global imperialism, the way that the United States, so I'm talking about a US experience and a pretty low rung poverty in the US experience, but as a nation, I'm a privileged person with a US passport, and as a nation, we've completely shackled the rest of the planet with the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. So all of those debts need to be eliminated as we speak right now. Those need to be eliminated. A lot of the economic aid that has happened even since this whole coronavirus, if you look at it, it's all based in interest-based payments. So even small businesses, they're taking out loans, and then they have to pay interest on the loans. But ultimately, I didn't understand how to go to college at all, let alone without going into debt, and I didn't really understand it. So I ended up getting a lot of debt as a student, even though I worked full time. And fast forward, I could talk about this forever, but I'll just say a couple more things. I actually worked in debt counseling as well. I was a student loan debt counselor for nonprofits. Shout out to everybody that does that work. And so basically I was trying to figure out, how do I help people not be in the same situation that I am? And then I actually wanted to get even further. I'm always like trying to drill down to what's the best way that I can get, what's the best way that I can use my skills and my passions to get to solve a problem. So now I'm a high school teacher, and that's even better because I'm actually getting to provide for a lot of my students a college level education. I'm a college level professor for students who will never step into a college.
Wow.
Many of them will become first generation college students, but plenty of them will never step into a college. And so I provide top level, high quality college level education for these students. And then they actually get to avoid the debt trap. And then additionally, I can also talk to them about how to go to college without taking on debt. So there's lots more to say, but this is a piece of my identity. It's a piece of my livelihood. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and I hope that everybody can take this forward and share this work with their loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Really, I think this is actually a great time to open it up to the audience for a Q&A. If anybody has any questions, just as we've been doing, utilize that chat box. Let us know for either performer, for Sailor or Jill or Radhika. Any at all. Just give it a second.
Oh yeah, I appreciate the the link there. I'm performing Thursday night, not the debt spell, but you know, this debt spell will happen again, but I'm also performing Thursday night. The link just got put in the chat there.
Awesome. What other sorts of, what other kinds of performances do you do?
Well, my main performance art is actually being an audience. That's my main performance. And then I think because I'm so passionate about being an audience, I get roped into performance work. I do a lot of textile work. That's my main art form. I do writing and textile work, which textile, it's the same thing. And often if I'm doing something that I've come up with on my own, it has some component to it, has sculpture, it has a textile component to it.
Wow. Anybody else have any questions for any of our performers? I have one question, and this will be for all three performers. What was it like performing through Zoom? Is this something that you were comfortable with? I know, Sailor, you're usually an audience member. Jill, it sounds like you and Radhika have done a lot of Zoom performances. Was this something that you've always sort of done, or is this something in the last few months that you've sort of gotten yourselves into?
Definitely in the last few months. You know, my husband and I own our improvisational theater company, so we kind of just had to like do it when shelter in place happened in order to survive. Yeah. So we had to quickly adapt and learn. So when it first started, we took the whole week, the first week of shelter in place, to just do as much as we could to just the platform and research and practice. So I'm pretty comfortable with it, but I really pray for the day we can have a live person same breath space stage, because I miss it. Yeah.
I'd never performed online like this, and thanks to Jill and Leela that just jumped in, you know, and just started doing these shows, started performing. But after that, I've probably performed in like 10 or more shows, like different shows, and scripted and unscripted. And I could never have done that. Like usually you rehearse for 3 months and then you go on and do a show, and it's so underpaid, and the compensation is so disrespectful, and you know, or not non-existing. But now there's no cost, there's no commute, there's no, it's just incredible. And so I've actually been performing more and heard from you know, so many folks, like trans folks, queer folks, folks of color, disabled folks, you know, that we're able to perform more through this medium. I don't like it as a performer. I'd love to see people, but I would say that we're getting, a lot of us who don't get opportunities that often are getting opportunities through this medium, and getting to perform with performers from New York or another country, or, you know, it's incredible. So there's also want to say yes, you know, to incredible things that are happening.
I just think it's like, it's a miracle. My brother, I mean, we didn't grow up with electricity in my family, and like most of the time we didn't have electricity or running water, and like my brother is literally in Peru right now. Like he's in Peru right now. Like I'm just like, and he's on here listening to this. Like he's getting to see somebody that looks like him. He knows me, no blood. It's so amazing. Like, it's like, cool. Okay. I'm performing with people in all these, like before my brother got here, I was like, okay, I'm performing like San Francisco, New York City, it's all this cool stuff. And I live in a rural town, you know, like, and then I see my brother's name and I'm like, no, this is real talk right here. Like my brother's in Peru and he's here right now. And I think that especially for transnational people who, you know, who are used to having their family in places that are across borders that can't be crossed, like what a powerful gift, you know. My brother's in Peru, but he's not Peruvian. Like what a precious gift that people get to see their people.
It's true. My family hasn't seen me perform in maybe like 20 years. And, you know, because I'm an immigrant and they live in India, and like all my family was watching me perform the other day, and it was just so amazing for people to watch, and they're so inspired by what's happening in America and, the creativity that's here. So yeah, we're reaching like audiences beyond our imagination.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that this platform exists, and I'm so happy to have had all of you guys perform. It has been such an incredible night, and just a big reminder of what connection is and what it does for us all. So thank you guys so much. And I hope to have you guys back on soon. So I just want to end it there. Unfortunately, I'd love to keep the dialogue going. Everybody knows where to contact these performers if they've given their websites out. So please reach out, please stay connected. And yeah, we hope you guys join us next week. We've got great performers, another talented set. And don't forget that we would love to hear all sorts of unique stories and just personal stories right now, especially with what's going on in the world in general. So you can submit a piece to the Monday Night Marsh stream. Again, the link is on Monday Night Marsh under, themarsh.org under Monday Night Marsh. So hope to hear from more of you guys out there. So thank you again. Thank you to the Zoom techs for helping us out today, especially to David. Thank you to the performers, the audience members. Thank you. Just so much thanks going around. So we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, Sailor.
Bye, Radhika. Let's stay in
I'll
touch.
see you soon. Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thanks, Sailor. Thanks for absolving my debt.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Kristen.